And welcome back to Bunters Yard. So today is the assembly guide for the porter cabin. This is the O gauge version. There's also a double O, exactly the same, just a little bit smaller. One minor difference, but it doesn't make any difference to the way we're going to put this together. So in the bag we have separated some of the parts out. If we can get inside, there we go. So let's get the little plastic bag out of the way. We'll come back to that in a second. So we've got some number of parts of the framework. So the legs there, they're in black on the O gauge. It's a slightly thicker material. On the double O gauge, there'll just be normal MDF colour. And if we just sort of separate these out, we can see where we're at and make a start. In the poly bag, we've got the window frames, the glazing, and some inserts. Right, so floor, walls, and there's obviously a roof as well. It's quite obvious, I think, how these go together, but we'll go through these one piece at a time. So the floor is this bit with the little lugs on. It's the same both ways round, upside down, so it's quite symmetrical. And then obviously the long walls fit on one side, and the short walls on the other end. I think it's fairly self-explanatory, but just in case there's any questions about putting this together. So we'll use rocket glue for this. Very free-flowing is rocket glue, so if you're using this, just be careful. And then it does block as well if you're not putting the lid back on all the time, so just be careful with that. So we're using these 1, 2, 3 blocks just to hold it square, and we'll do it the same with the front side as well. Now the door you can have to the left or to the right. We're going to have ours on the left, but you can put it whichever way you want. It makes no difference. Everything still fits together exactly the same. And again, we'll use the 1, 2, 3 blocks there just to hold it together, hold it straight. And there's some nice rocket glue smear all over the front. But anyway, so cracking on with the sides, we need to glue these down each side and along the, not the bottom edge, but just on the inside of the bottom edge. And that'll pop it in there. Just wipe off the excess glue. Probably you're going to use a cloth. I'll use my finger, I guess. There we go. And we'll do the same with the other end. And I normally hold it all together with a couple of elastic bands just to make sure all the joins fit properly. So the framework, see the long end that goes on there, and there is a slight overhang on either end, but the short ends fit exactly on a completely square. So I'd start with those. Then everything lines up. So a touch of the rocket glue. I think I might have to put this in a different bottle. This comes out much too fast. Now, any excess around the sort of joins, I would suggest you wipe off with a cloth or a cotton bud. Probably not your finger, but you know, if you want to. Do the same with the other end. As I say, the double O gauge is exactly the same. It's just that much smaller. Now on the front or the long side, we're going to fit these ones, and they've then hide that small join, any joins on the walls, which I like to try and disguise those whenever I can. So that's the back wall. And for the roof, now you can remove the roof, so we've made it so it's got a little insert, so you just fit that part inside the etched line, glue it together, and then you can make the roof removable. You haven't got to glue it in place. You can, obviously, if you want to, but if you need to take it off to add lights or any interior at a later date, this makes it obviously possible. So we're just going to put a bit of weight on there just to hold it down and give that a few minutes to set. Now while that does, we'll crack on. We need to fit the legs. I normally put this on a little block just to raise it off. You can put it on anything at all. It just makes it easier to fit these from upside down. So as I say, on the O gauge, these will be in black, and on the double O they'll just be a normal MDF colour. Now it depends on how you're going to paint your model. You may want to fit these afterwards. If the frame is going to be a different colour, you may want to paint the main body and then the frame, and then fit it all together. Entirely up to you. Now with the legs, I just normally put a dab of super glue at the top just to hold them in place, and then they're completely fitted then, and just a clip just to hold them in just while it sets. Sometimes they sort of spring out and they don't meet the top of the frame completely. So in our small bag we have a number of things: window frames, glass, and some inserts, and I'll show you what they're about in a moment. So there's the door frame with the all the window frames and the door. And if you're going to paint these in whatever colour, white or so on, or silver, then it's probably best to paint them while they're on the card. Normally use just a card primer, and then whatever colour you want over the top. Same for the main MDF body, primer first, just normal card primer, that's what I use, and then the main colour on top of that. So all the window frames are held in with just little tabs, and they're just on either of the long sides. There's one on each side. Just go from the back and that'll pop out. They may need a little clean up when you get them out, just where you've gone through the tabs. And we'll fit a couple just to show you how they go on. This one's for the long window on the front, and then we've got a few pieces for the door. So there's that bit there is the sort of outer frame, just like a trim. Doesn't really do anything, but it's just a trim piece. And then we've got door. And then finally is like the inner frame. It's like the door jamb really, so it stops the door from pushing all the way through, but you can use that to pose the door. So you need to fit the outer frames first, and if you look from the back you can see it leaves a sort of small sort of rebate where you can fit the glass in. On O gauge it's about 1 millimetre around each side. On double O it's obviously about half of that, so a bit more precision needed on the double O gauge. Now, I like to fit these with super glue. You can use your rocket glue if that's what you choose to use, but the super glue obviously sets a lot quicker, so you just need a small amount at sort of strategic points around the frame. If you want to do the whole thing, belts and braces, that's your call. And then that fits in, and if you check from the back, there's the rebate there, so we can fit the glass in there a bit later on. And then we need to do the same for all of the windows. There's 10 windows plus the long window, and then you've got the door as well. So for the long one, exactly the same process. Just as much glue as you feel is necessary. I've been using these little nozzles with a super glue bottle. It just makes it so much easier. I haven't stuck anything to the desk for quite a while now. I have recently stuck my phone to the desk, and also the waste basket to the floor. But that's another story. So let's cut the glass out. There's actually 12 panes of this glass. You only need 10, so there's a couple of spares in case you slip or if you make a mistake. And they just drop in to that recess there. I'll fit all three of this end in first. Don't need to glue these in. They're going to be held in a moment with another piece. Just pop that in there. And then we've got the final sort of pieces that's in your pack, which are these very thin sort of frames. Well, on the O gauge they're about 1 millimetre thick. On the 00 they're obviously half that thickness again. So you just need a dab of glue either side, top and bottom maybe, and then just pop that into place. That hopefully means that you won't get any glue on the glass. Super glue reacts with the acetate, and it makes it go all sort of white and frosty, which is not the good look. And if you're going for a sort of pristine version of the port cabin. There again, if you're painting the interior of your porter cabin, you would probably want to paint these inserts and the interior before you fit the glass. Obviously the glass would then be the last thing you want to put in, just to make it that much easier to paint. So let's fit the door. So the inner frame, just same as the windows, but actually in the opposite way. So the frame goes on the inside and leaves that sort of 1 millimetre sort of rebate all the way around, and we can hang the door in there later on. Glued that into place. We then need to fit the outer frame. It's just a trim piece. It fits exactly on the outer border of the door frame. Just glued that in there, and then the door, we just need to glue the rebate, and in it goes. Now, if you want to pose your door in an open position, you can just glue down the one side. On this side it's the left particular side, super glue that, and then you can pop your door in a sort of open or a semi-open position. But for this one, we're just going to pop it in as closed. Final piece is the roof. Now that's dry, let's grab the roof, and that just pops on there. And so if you want to fit lights or interiors, any people, any workers, you can take the roof off, and there you go. So here's one that we've been working on today. Here's a couple of examples of the 00 in the sort of style that we like here at Bunters Yard. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon at Bunters Yard. Bye for now.